In the shadowy depths of the North Atlantic, beneath the waves that once carried convoys of vital war supplies and the ships sent to protect them, prowled a hunter built for stealth and surprise. Among these silent predators was U-486, a German Type VIIC submarine launched in late 1943, designed with cutting-edge technology that threatened to rewrite the rules of undersea warfare. What made U-486 particularly formidable wasn't just her armament or crew, but her cloak. She was equipped with a revolutionary synthetic rubber coating known as Alberich, a stealth skin that helped reduce sonar detection. It was one of Nazi Germany's boldest experiments in submarine innovation during the final years of World War II, a secret weapon hoping to shift the tide as the U-boat arm suffered heavy losses from advancing Allied anti-submarine tactics. Commissioned on the 22nd of March 1944, U-486 was laid down at the Deutsche Werke shipyard in Kiel on the 6th of February 1943 and launched on the 12th of November the same year. Under the command of Oberleutnant See Gerhard Meyer, the submarine began training with the 5th U-boat flotilla before transferring to the front lines with the 11th U-boat flotilla in Bergen, Norway. U-486 was a typical Type VIIc U-boat in many ways, 67.1 meters long, with a pressure hull length of 50.5 meters, capable of diving to depths of 230 meters, and armed with 5 torpedo tubes, a deck gun, and anti-aircraft weapons. However, what set her apart was the aforementioned Alberich coating. Developed from synthetic rubber, this passive sonar-deflecting skin was meant to absorb Allied sonar pulses, rendering the submarine virtually invisible to the active sonar used by Allied escort ships. Her service was short but bloody. U-486 embarked on her first and only war patrol in November 1944, slipping through the icy waters off Norway and into the North Sea. By this time the war was nearing its conclusion, but the U-boat threat was far from extinguished. Though Allied aircraft and ships controlled vast swaths of the ocean, convoys were still vulnerable, and Meyer was about to remind the Allies of the terror lurking beneath the waves. On the 18th of December 1944, U-486 torpedoed the American Liberty ship SS Edward H. Crockett. The ship was heavily damaged but did not sink. Just one day later, on the 19th of December, U-486 delivered one of her most infamous blows, the torpedoing of the SS Leopoldville. The Leopoldville was a Belgian troop transport ship packed with more than 2,200 American soldiers from the 66th Infantry Division, heading across the English Channel from Southampton to Cherbourg in France. Just 5 miles off the French coast, within sight of their destination, the ship was struck by one of U-486's torpedoes. Chaos erupted on board. Communications failed, lifeboats were inaccessible, and rescue operations were delayed. In the frigid water, hundreds of US soldiers drowned or died of exposure. By the time the disaster ended, 763 American servicemen were dead. It was one of the deadliest attacks on US troops by a German U-boat, and the tragedy of the Leopoldville would be shrouded in secrecy for decades. The US War Department initially kept the details of the incident classified, fearing the demoralizing impact such a disaster could have on the public during the final months of the war. Still not finished, U-486 struck again on Christmas Eve 1944, targeting convoy TBC-43 in the North Sea. That day, she fired a spread of torpedoes and managed to sink the British vessel SS Arthur Sewell and severely damage another British ship, SS Black Hawk. In just a few short weeks, U-486 had become a phantom menace, a ghost in the water, undetectable, unpredictable, and lethal. Her stealth coating appeared to be working. Allied sonar operators reported difficulty tracking the U-boat, and the Royal Navy became increasingly alarmed. If the Germans had developed a technology that could nullify sonar, the already strained Allied shipping lanes could once again be at risk. But her reign of terror would not last long. After docking in Bergen to resupply, U-486 departed on her second patrol in early April 1945. This time, she would never return. On the 12th of April 1945, just weeks before Germany's surrender, U-486 was detected and ambushed by the British submarine HMS Tapir, operating northwest of Bergen. A single torpedo from Tapir struck U-486, tearing through her pressure hull and sending the vessel plunging to the ocean floor. All 48 crew members perished. The once feared submarine, outfitted with cutting-edge stealth technology and boasting one of the deadliest patrols in U-boat history, vanished beneath the waves without a trace. For decades, U-486 remained a mystery, her exact resting place unknown. It wasn't until 2013 that Norwegian researchers, using sonar and remotely operated vehicles, rediscovered the wreck off the coast of Norway. Lying 250 meters deep and a short distance from another sunken U-boat, U-486's hull had been split in two by the explosion from HMS Tapir's torpedo. Her discovery brought closure to historians and naval researchers, offering a rare opportunity to examine one of the only stealth-coated submarines ever deployed in wartime. The story of U-486 is not just one of destruction and death. It represents the desperate innovation of a nation losing a war and trying anything to regain its advantage. The Alberich coating was a forerunner of modern submarine stealth technology, foreshadowing the anechoic tiles used on modern nuclear submarines to dampen sonar echoes. Though it came too late to turn the tide for the Kriegsmarine, it marked a turning point in undersea warfare, the beginning of a new era where invisibility became just as important as firepower. U-486's legacy is haunted by the tragedy of the Leopoldville and the controversy that followed. Survivors and families of the lost soldiers spent decades seeking answers and recognition. It wasn't until much later that the story gained broader awareness, leading to memorials and a re-evaluation of the incident's place in World War II history. For the crew of U-486, their end came swiftly and without fanfare as the waters they once ruled swallowed them whole in the war's final chapter. In total, U-486 had a brief operational career, lasting only from November 1944 to April 1945. Yet in those 5 months, she managed to sink or damage 6 Allied vessels and kill over 800 men, an astonishing tally for a submarine that only completed 1 war patrol. She was among the last U-boats to make a significant impact in the war and one of the very few to use experimental stealth coating in actual combat conditions. Her design, deployment, and demise are a microcosm of Germany's naval war effort in the latter stages of World War II, increasingly desperate, occasionally brilliant, ultimately doomed. While other U-boats gain notoriety for their long and brutal patrols, U-486's story is notable for its innovation and tragic impact. She did not prowl the Atlantic for years like U-47 or U-99, but the use of Alberich and the Leopoldville disaster ensured she would never be forgotten. U-486 remains a stark reminder of how a single submarine in the right place and time can alter the course of events, and how even in the closing months of the war, the seas remained as dangerous as ever. As the wreck of U-486 now rests silently in the cold North Sea, she serves as both a war grave and a testament to wartime innovation. Her experimental rubber coating, now peeling and corroded after decades underwater, once represented a technological leap ahead of its time. Though the submarine never had a long service record, her few months of activity left a significant mark on the naval history of the Second World War. U-486 is gone, but her story continues to echo in the deep, stealthy, sudden, and deadly.